Billy or Sarah or insert kid's name here is going to plow through your feeble barricade like a freight train. This lady was no 10-year-old either. She was a lot of woman, and I don't mean her personality. Bitch fell right on me, teeth first. I thought the puke stank, but this woman was ripe. The plague was new, so I don't know how she could have smelled like a week-old dead thing that had fermented in the sun, but she did. Actually, maybe that's what she was. She bit me just below the collarbone and I yelled. She pulled her head back and I screamed, because her mouth was no longer empty. Something else you probably already know, but hey, this is for posterity. Once they lock their hands on you, they aren't letting go. She slipped that nibble of my shoulder down with a bloody piece of prison-purchased t-shirt as a garnish, but she multitasked and latched her mitts onto my shirt and pants. She finished my shoulder and leaned in for another morsel, but I was having none of that. This lady outweighed me by 50 pounds, and I'm a big guy. She was not big-boned. I rolled her sideways and pushed for all my infected ass was worth, which was damn little at that point, but hey, it was my ass. She wanted my nose next, and pulled as I pushed. It's amazing what you remember and forget in certain circumstances. I can't remember her hair color or what she was wearing or even what her dead face looked like. But I remember she was fat. Fat and strong. We continued our tug-of-war with me as the prize for a few seconds until I heard shuffling footsteps over our struggle. I dared a furtive glance toward the new sound, and lo and behold, Fat Dead Lady's twin sister was coming for brunch. She wasn't really her twin, but she was every bit as big. The tide had definitely turned in favor of the dead folks, and I desperately needed a weapon, like a gun or something. I wanted to smack myself in the head with my palm for forgetting the pistol, but I would have had to let her go. Then the fat lady would get to sing. Pinned lady started snapping. She chomped so hard that one of her teeth flew out and hit me in the cheek. The other dead lady was about 15 feet away, so whatever needed to be done had to happen fast, or I wouldn't spend the next few hours dying in agony, but the next few minutes. I seriously considered that. Should I just let the New Hampshire heifers finish the job now? I mean, it would hurt. Like agony on a level I didn't want to comprehend. But then again, not an hour previous I told that cop that I wanted every second, although that was before I knew for sure I was infected. The puking and passing out, plus the look of the leg bite, were both indicative of infection. Spot on. I mean, I knew before. I just didn't want to believe. So yeah, I was infected. And nobody gets better. But being torn to pieces by a duo of tubbies? Seriously? I could always shoot myself if the pain got too bad later. If I started puking up important pieces of me instead of my breakfast, or if I saw a living person and pictured them wearing those little booty thingies you put on a turkey's drumsticks, I could always opt out then. Also, for some reason, the Scorpion's Winds of Change just shoved its way into my thoughts. Didn't even like that song. So, in the end, after all of those thoughts, which took perhaps 0.5 seconds, I decided I wanted to end things my way. I gave a Herculean shove and smashed my hefty hanger-on into the street. Her head banged off of the asphalt, and it must have stunned her because she blinked in rapid succession. Her grip didn't slack, but she stopped snapping and pulling. I did it again, and this time I looked for the revolver, which was right next to her flabby right arm. I grabbed the gun and put it to the side of her head. She stopped blinking and looked into my eyes, almost pleadingly. I can't imagine how many people went out like that in the first couple of weeks, not knowing or believing a loved one was one of them, and then just getting gnawed on by your kid or your grandma. This dead woman, who had already dined on a portion of me, however small, raised her eyebrows and frowned, jutting out her bottom lip slightly. She looked sad, and I blew her head off. I wasn't going to be one of those dumb people I just mentioned. No gloomy-looking dead fat broad was going to get the better of me. Except she already had. Bitch bit me. The undead will let go if you disable their brain. Doesn't make any sense to me either. All of their systems are shut down except their core nervous system. They don't breathe, there's no heartbeat, they don't poop, and they feel no pain.